Okay, readers, yesterday you did some vocabulary practice. You did some make-its yesterday on your Google Slides. So today I'm going to need you to grab a sheet of paper or a whiteboard and we're going to practice some sentence dictation. So remember you can go ahead and grab it and hit pause if you need to hit pause during this part while you grab your paper and pencil, and I'll just keep talking and then hit play when you're ready. When we do sentence dictation, when we write sentences, we begin every sentence with a what? A capital letter. And then we always end our sentences with a punctuation. And it's a really good thing that we end our sentences with punctuation. And we know that we need to stop. Well, today in reading, something funny happened in class, and there was a punctuation there, but a student did not read the punctuation. See how important punctuation is. So I'm going to show you the story that the student read, and I want you to go ahead and stop at that punctuation. I'm going to take away that punctuation and see if it made better sense with the punctuation or without it. So we'll talk about that in a second. A story about in the treehouse. Remember, I said I uploaded 2 books on your guided readers, and this student was reading about the treehouse, and they were building a treehouse, and she read this story, and she said, "Dad saws John," and then she looked at me and said, "That doesn't sound right. Dad saws John. Let's go back and reread it." So we reread it, and I said, "Don't forget to stop at that period." So then she read, "Dad saws John hammers." Made better sense. So when we write our sentences, when we read our sentences, we need to make sure we stop at the proper punctuation. We pause when there's a comma, our voice goes up when there's a question mark, we read with excitement when there's an exclamation point, and our voice goes down when we get to a period. So you're going to do some sentence dictation today. Don't forget those end marks. Okay, so the first sentence I want you to write is, "Will you make a lime cake?" Will you make a lime cake is the proper way to read it. So my voice went up at the end. So what punctuation goes there? One more time. Will you make a lime cake? Go ahead and write that sentence and hit pause, and then you'll check your work with me. So here's the proper way. Will, I started it with a capital letter. You make a lime cake. My voice went up. So I have my question mark. I space between my words. How did you do on spacing? How did you do on spelling? Make is one of our sight words this week, so that should look very familiar to you. Somebody on these words in our class put C's at the end, but I said, well, if we put a C at the end instead of a C, even though C does say C, but that E, remember, makes the C say S. So that would be case. That's not the word I asked for. I don't want a case. I want a cake. So I'm going to make sure it's K-E. All right. Did you add your silent E there? Will you make a lime cake? All right. One more sentence. Go ahead and hit pause after I say it. Did you hide my bike? Did you hide my bike? Go ahead and write that sentence, hit pause, and then hit play to check your work. Okay, how did you do? Did you begin it with a capital letter, nothing else capitalized? Did you hide my bike? My voice went up. I asked a question. I spaced between my words, and I'm checking my spelling. Hi, did I remember my silent E? The vowel's long. Bike. I did not make it a CE. That would make it bice. Bike. How did you do on dictation today? Okay, so our story this week is Max's Big Speech. Now remember, I put two new books on your guided readers. I put one that was a little easier reading, which is about the treehouse, and then this one, Max's Big Speech, not Big Day, Big Speech. And we're gonna work off of this book. But as you're reading it, if it's too difficult when it comes to Thursday and you need to read for me out loud, you can choose to record yourself reading off the other book, which is The Treehouse. Or if this is a good fit book for you, read Max's Big Speech for me on your guided readers. Max's Big Speech. Max is afraid. He does not want to talk in front of a group of people. There's parents there, there's students there, there's friends there. Tons of people show up for Move Up Day. Hmm, what do you think Move Up Day is? They're in school. And move up days when the students are getting ready to move to the next grade level. So if they were first graders, they'd be moving up to second graders. So the second graders talk to the first graders and tell them all about second grade. So Max got chosen to speak for move up day to the grade below him to have him tell all about his grade that he's in now. What would you talk about if you were in charge of speaking about first grade? What would you pick for Move Up Day? What would be your speech? What would your speech be about? What is something fun that you would tell kindergartners that happened in first grade? On the next slide, I want you to go ahead and tell me what you would tell a kindergarten about first grade.